Hello, everyone. My name is Carlos Torres, along with Fred Altvater. We're here in the Back Nine Report, and today we're going to be talking about the recap of the Players' Championship. Fred, hi, how are you today?
Well, fantastic, Carlos. What a weekend it was. Kind of a surprising thing. And lo and behold, we had the same final grouping that we had the week before at the Arnold Palmer.
I can't believe it. I mean, if you come to think about it, Lee Westwood, we were talking about him and about Bryson DeChambeau, and it was incredible that this time Lee. I mean, to me, the most surprising thing, and I got to admit it, I've seen that Lee Westwood has been progressing and coming back into the leaderboards again, but I really didn't expect the. He's playing really, really well. I
Who
mean,
expected him to
didn't
be at this level again at 47 years old?
Lee Westwood. I know he did. I know he did. I know he counted on. But you know what they were not counting on? On Justin Thomas. Justin Thomas, and we talked about it when we did the
I called that.
recap.
I told you that one. But
Hey,
I
hey,
have to
hey,
admit, though, Carlos, I was really wrong about DeChambeau because I told you he wouldn't even make a cut, remember?
oh no, definitely. But Bryson did prove a lot of people wrong. We gotta definitely say that. Actually thought he wasn't gonna be. This wasn't a course that was gonna set up good for him, but he because I see that his strength is his. Uh, yeah, I gotta say his strength is his power, right? But the players, TPC Sawgrass is a tournament, right? The players that it's not for specific. You don't see people just overpowering TPC Sawgrass. You got to have some finesse. And Justin Thomas, and to my credit, remember that I did say, I have to say it, I did say when I was picking my players, I said Justin Thomas, everybody has been, down on him ever since what happened to him. And I think this is just the time for him to try to go back and win. And when did when he did? So how did you saw the Players Championship?
Well, what I saw was that Lee Westwood played fantastic again 2 weeks in a row. Just kind of ran out of gas a little bit, didn't quite have it on Sunday. But when Lee Westwood and Bryson DeChambeau came out and made a mess of the front nine, that let everybody back in. And I think we were texting along about the fifth or sixth hole, and they had all their trouble on four. They went double bogey bogey on that hole, and you could see right then that they just had issues. Lee was missing it left and right. He couldn't, he wasn't that little cut he'd been playing all week, bringing it back in the fairway wasn't working for him. And and I said, JT is right there. This is his to win. And he goes, birdie, birdie, eagle, birdie, through what, 9, 8, 9, 10, 11, or whatever it was. Fantastic. And he goes from what, two back to one up and then two up. And then to Westwood's credit, he was still right with him until he made that bogey late. He was right there. So Westwood, again, just fantastic. He's playing at an extremely high level. I'll tell you what impresses me, Carlos, is what do you think about Lee Westwood's chances now at the Masters coming up here in a couple of weeks? You're mute, son.
Lee has played very well at the Masters before, and he's this maybe one of the best players not to win a major, right? And he has been close before. I think that he's setting up for a good run. I don't know if he's going to win it, but at least he's going to give a scare to a lot of people. I cannot discard the way that he's playing, that he can show up and do a good deep run in Augusta. I definitely think so. And more so than that, I think that, and we'll talk about this maybe another time, of course, but I think the Ryder Cup is setting up pretty good for Patty Harrington because there's a lot of good European players. And one of the things that you told me and talked to that we talked about it was that out of the top 10 players right now, eight are Americans.
I
But
know.
we've seen this before, right? And still the Europeans come back. But anyway, as part of Justin Thomas, I mean, this was very emotional for him. 2 months just after following the loss of his grandfather. Um, and all that he had gone through, of course, with all the shaming that happened in social media. We documented that as well. It This is a historic win for him because this win, that final round of 68, phenomenal. It doesn't sound big, but the way that he finished it, okay, with that uh, great finish, he became only the fourth player ever to win a major, a WGC event, a FedEx Cup, and a Players Championship. And the other only three that he joins pretty good names: Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, and Henrik Stenson. So he's in pretty good company. He started the day, like you mentioned, 3 shots back, but he overcame that. So 7 pars in those first 7 holes for Lee Westwood. That wasn't what he was looking for. Westwood and Bryson DeChambeau, like you were saying, they were paired a week ago, second consecutive final round. So, yeah, they started the day perfectly for Bryson birding that first hole. But anyway, it was it was a very fun tournament. Justin Thomas, to see him there all the way, seems like he's back. I think that Justin from now on, he can put maybe to the side or back of him all the drama, all the bad things that have happened in the past 2 months for him. Don't you think?
Absolutely. There was the slur. There was his grandfather's death just a couple weeks ago. And then Tiger's wreck, I think, affected him as well, because they are very, very close friends. So, yeah, I think that kind of erased all that stuff, and he's ready to move on now. There's a couple other storylines I want to get in here before we wrap this up, Carlos. Number one, Jordan Spieth, again, played 3 pretty decent rounds. He was in the top 25 Saturday night, but Sunday shoots a 75, drops clear down to T48. So there he is, being inconsistent again. Kevin Na, I don't know if you saw him or not, but on Thursday, he's got a decent round going. He's like 1 under par or something going around. He comes to 17, pumps 3 balls in the water, 2 of them from the drop zone. Okay. Then he goes up, finally gets one to stay on the back of the green, and then chips it in for an 8. Puts his ball in his pocket, walks off the golf course. He said, "That's it. I've had enough. I'm done. No mas." 23% of the players have played 17 on Thursday, missed the green. 23% of the world's best golfers couldn't hit the green from 143 yards. If there was grass around that green, okay, and you put them in the fairway at 143 yards, less than 5% would miss the green with a wedge in their hand. But because there's water all around it, it gets their attention, and they hit all kinds of stupid shots. And Kevin Na wasn't the worst of the day. Benny An made an 11 at 17. The 17th hole. Well, I'm not going to get more into it. I want to talk about Victor Hovland a little bit. He missed the cut, but he would have made the cut, except that on Thursday, he signed for a 2 under par 70. And he's walking out to his car, and he gets a call from Norway. So he picks it up, and it's mom. Mom says, "What are they going to do about the 15th hole where you didn't put the ball back in the right place?" He says, "Mom, what are you talking about?" She says, "You mismarked it. You didn't put the ball back where it belonged after you marked it." So he goes back in. He and the caddy, they get the video. They ask the officials to look at the video, and so when he marked his ball, he had to move it for somebody else to putt. He marked it, moved it over one putter head, remarked it. The guy putted. When he went to put it down, he moved it, and he moved the putter head the other way, farther away from his original mark. So, under the new rules, the old rules, he would have been DQ'd for signing for a wrong card. But under the new rules, it was a 2-stroke penalty, 72. He shoots 74 on Friday, misses the cut by 2 shots. It's an even par. He would have made it had he not had that penalty. So a little tough love from mom there, watching the coverage at home in Norway. Cost her son 30, 40 grand there at least. Also, yeah, I guess those are the things I want to get. I want to get into about Nan and Hovland. I thought those were 2 great stories coming out last week.
Yeah, I mean, mom, please don't call me. I would just turn off the phone. I don't know, just call somebody else.
I don't have time right now, Mom. Sorry, I'm busy. I'm
Mom,
working
I'm
here.
busy. I need to go back and all that. We'll talk when I come back.
I'll call you on Mother's Day.
But anyway, just to wrap it up, I mean, great outings also for Paul Casey. It seems like we talk about him like every week, right? Like he's close there. So that's
Yep.
another player that's setting up very, very well for the Ryder Cup for the European tour for the Europeans. Corey Connors also solo seven, another player that is just knocking on the door. I think Corey Connors is about to win pretty soon. Shane Lowry, finally, we see him doing well again. Eighth, solo eighth. Daniel Berger was there at T9. Sergio and Matthew Fitzpatrick and John Ram were three players that were in and out of the top of the leaderboard. But at the end, 72 for Matthew and Sergio and 73 for John Ram on Sunday finished T9. So that took them out of there. Will Torres also was playing well, but finished solo
Another
21st.
good
So,
week for him though.
so it's
And I felt a little sorry for Doug Gim. I don't know about you, but
yeah.
he got paired with, he was in the next last group. He was with JT on Sunday. Just too big of a deal for him. And it just didn't work. Nothing, he couldn't get anything to work right.
Yeah, it was just too much. 78 there on Sunday, not that good. But anyway, a great tournament. And like we said, the cream of the creme goes always rises to the top, and that's what happened here. For this week, the PGA Tour remains in Florida for the Honda Classic. So with that, we wrap up the recap of the Players Championship.